What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. This is our top 10 hottest selling comics of the week, our weekly video series brought to you by PopCultureZone.com. Before we get into this week's top 10 books, don't forget to check out PopCultureZone.com's. Their links are below. Check them out if you're interested in getting your hands on some awesome exclusive and incentive variants at affordable costs, CGC slabs, and of course all different kinds of pop culture items, including toys and statues. And if you're buying raw books, they ship at a flat rate fee of only $4.99. You also do not pay taxes, with the exception of New Jersey. Pop Culture Zone is also on eBay, where they still hold a 100% customer feedback rating with over 8,000 ratings this year alone. So again, those links are below to their website and their eBay store. Check them out and make sure you follow them on eBay as well.
We're going to get into the top 10 hottest comics right now. All right, here we go. At number 10, we have Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, that Jen Bartel 150 variant. That thing is gorgeous. Number 9, we have Amazing Fantasy. Number 10, first appearance of Nina Price. A whole bunch of MCU rumors around her. At number 8, we have Darth Vader. Number 3, the first appearance of Dr. Aphra. That book has just blown up because we saw her good friend, Black Chrysanthemum. Number 7, we have Death of Doctor Strange, Bloodstone. Number 1, Maria Wolf variant. First appearance of Lyra Bloodstone. Another hot character that there's a lot of speculation about within the Marvel Universe, not so much the MCU yet. Number 6, we have Timeless. Number 1, Humberto Ramos, that Miss Minutes variant. That thing is not going away. Number 5, we have Death of Doctor Strange, Bloodstone. Number 1, the IG Guara design, 1 in 10. At number 4, we have Star Wars. Number 20, the origin of Black Chrysanthemum Scar. At number 3, we have Darth Vader. Number 1, the first appearance of Black Chrysanthemum. At number 2, we have Thor number 20, first appearance of God of Hammers. And at number 1, we have Death of Doctor Strange, Bloodstone. Number 1, the David Nakayama variant. Woo, Chris.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, man? What do you think about this list?
Man, you know, being out with COVID the last few weeks and coming back and doing a top 10, I got to tell you, Jeff, I was looking at this top 10 for a few days, and I didn't have much feeling towards it. I'm gonna be completely honest, and that's why I couldn't pick 3 books. But I have a lot to talk about. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the list in general?
My thoughts on this list are Star Wars affects the market, right? That's my thought on this list. Star Wars affects the market. When there's not a Star Wars show going on, that is the time to buy these books, because pretty soon we are going to have a bunch of series almost back to back. And I think after Book of Boba Fett, we don't have any premiere dates of Obi-Wan. That's coming soon. Ahsoka is coming soon.
Yep.
So that is my kind of quick take. I also, new characters, people are just eating them up. So
yeah.
These are my 2 takes.
Definitely. Yeah, I like that. And I hear you, man. So there's a lot of things. Now, I just did a live show on my channel. I talked about this approach that I'm taking in 2022. I want to deliver a lot of content on my channel, educating collectors, and my motto for 2022 is it's the year of the educated collector. When I look at this list, I was a bit disappointed, and a lot of you know, I am always the optimist, right, Jeff? I'm always, look, if somebody's willing to buy it, it's good for the industry. It's money in the industry. People want to spend money, let them spend money. Variants aren't ruining the hobby. They're a good a part of this hobby that brings in a lot of revenue. Flippers aren't ruining the hobby. YouTubers aren't ruining the hobby. Nothing, I'm always about just collect what you collect, let other people do their own thing. That's the beauty of this hobby. But I will say this. I don't know if it was me sitting at home for 3 weeks dealing with COVID and I got into my head, started thinking about things, or what it may be, coming through a crazy year 2021, hopping into a new year and really trying to look at things and dissect them even more than I usually do. When I look at this list, I see a lot of things concern me. Let's look at it from that optimistic point of view, though. A lot of variants. We have the Daredevil Woman Without Fear #1, and like you said, beautiful cover.
Beautiful.
150.
That thing's going for $150, $200 right now, by the way.
Yeah, and that's absolutely crazy, for a raw book. But I always say this. You got this. You got the Death of Doctor Strange, Bloodstone #1. That was the #1 book. The David Nakayama variant. People buy variants, and they will spend, a premium price for variants just because of the art. They will. And they're not sitting there paying $150 to $200 necessarily. Now, I can't tell you what everyone's thinking in their head for this Daredevil Woman Without Fear #1. They're not paying that much necessarily because they think they're going to profit off of it and flip it or get rich off of it, whatever. It's the idea of the art and what the variant is. So that's the positive. And I try to tell people that. And like I said, it's not everyone. There's still a lot of FOMO involved in all aspects of comics, right? There are still people out there that, oh, well, this variant is 1 in 50 incentive. It must be a good investment, which is not always the case. Oftentimes isn't the case. But I know from being in the community, from talking to a lot of people, that they tell me, I'm willing to pay $50, $100 for a variant because I love the art so much. They don't care if a couple months from now it goes down to $20 if they paid $50 or $10. They love the art. That is one positive thing here, okay? New characters, like you said, Jeff. I always say how I like when new characters come into comics and it's basically not pertaining to any MCU or live action or anything like that. At least inherently, we don't know yet what's going on. Like, we don't know if what's her name, Lyra Bloodstone is going to show up in the MCU. So I know that there's a lot of spec there building up on these characters specifically. They're thinking, well, a new character is being created in the comics. That must mean they're going to show up in the MCU at some point in time. So
can I just take it a step back there? I think the excitement just for Strange Academy alone is what's driving this, because she says in the book, she says she's applied to this school, and everybody's assuming that she'll be in the next Strange Academy volume. Just want to throw it in there.
Exactly. And that's an example of where it pertains to the comics and people hop onto it. Right. But then you get like, Nina Price, from the Amazing Fantasy 10. That's another one where there is probably heavy.
Yes.
This character could show up in the MCU because of the Werewolf by Night stuff and all that stuff. So you got to balance these things out, right? There's different aspects of that drives the demands for these first appearances. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of positives involved. But one thing that worries me here about these first appearances and new characters, and are they going to show up in a movie or TV show, is how fast people jump on them and how fast the prices increase.
Mm-hmm.
How fast that price goes up. And I've talked about this a lot. I've probably talked about it in the show. I talk about it on my videos. I am a advocate of I advocate not using the term market manipulation and stuff like that. And, it's pump and dump in these sensationalized terms. I think they are used way too often. People get mad just because the books increase and you didn't buy it. Oh, it must be market manipulation. Some YouTubers is holding 40 copies of that dollar book and he just talked about it and he's selling them for $5, whatever the case may be. But what can happen, because I always say it's organic. Look, if somebody has FOMO, or somebody, if there was a book and it was selling for $5, $6, $7, and now they want to pay $25 for it, whatever. Hey, they want to pay that. That's still organic. But I'm seeing a bigger problem here. You could call it organic all you want, and I will. But the problem really boils down to FOMO and how much this FOMO is clogging our decision making. Let me give you a prime example. And I'm going to use Star Wars #20. Now, Jeff, real quick. You were talking some positive stuff about the Star Wars books, and I agree. And you've heard me talk in the top 10 segments about the Star Wars mania and how real it is. And
Yeah.
I put my foot down in stating that statement is fact. But this is a problem, and I'm going to tell you. Star Wars 20, the origin of not Black Chrysanthemum like the annual book you had. This is the origin of his scar. This is the origin of his scar.
One more time.
Of his scar.
Okay.
Okay. Hear me out. Guys, I know I can be long-winded, but I do this on purpose because it's a build-up. It's a build-up, guys. All right. Stick with me here. Put down some popcorn, grab some popcorn. This book was a dollar bin book. Maybe not everywhere, but it's a back bin book. $3, maybe still the cover price. It's been that way since after it came out. Okay? Nothing special. This character shows up in a TV show, wasn't even there for that long. How long was he there for, Jeb? Maybe screen time, 5 minutes screen time?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know about the last episode though. I haven't watched the last one.
Okay.
But obviously this book blew up before the last episode. Anyways,
we're talking just episode 2. We're talking probably a minute or two.
2 and 3. I think between 2 and 3, maybe 5 minutes.
Just making sure. Got it. Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he's there. He looks dope. I love Wookiees. Chewbacca is an iconic character, and I'm not sitting here saying that this character can't be something. I mean, we don't know, but this book is selling for over $40 at the moment. And when a book literally goes from a dollar bin book to a $40 book overnight, and again, all of his other books were increasing, and I'm not talking about those books because they're a bit more valid. His first appearance in Darth Vader #1, even his origin in the annual, but the first appearance or the origin of his scar for over $40. So this is what's happening, and this is going to be my sum and the point I'm making here today in this top 10 segment. Okay, I always talk about how collectibles are a different market in general, but comic books are different because books tend to have a natural scarcity in a sense. Don't take my words out of context. But I always say this: supply and demand. Supply only equates to what's on the market at any given time. So it doesn't matter if there's a 250,000 print run. If there's only 5 for sale, it's a scarce book on the market. Okay, it's not rare in print run. It's not rare, but it's scarce on the market. We are living in a time right now, especially with COVID, especially with the boom of the live sales, Facebook, IG, and now the whatnot sales, which I love. I'm not knocking that. But we have 2 different markets right now for buying comic books. We have LCSs or cons still, or anything where you're going into a brick and mortar location and you're going through bins and you're pulling out books. And then we have these live sales and eBay. I'm going to throw eBay in there as well. There is what I believe to be a false sense of scarcity that is mixed with FOMO that is driving books like this up to these prices. And this is how. As soon as that episode aired, people are pulling out their phones. They're going on Key, and again, I'm not knocking Key Collector. Key Collector is a database. If you want to learn something about a character, where can you go? Key Collector. You go to Key Collector. Look, I actually have the app now. I didn't have it for a long time, but I have it. Look, you can go to search title. You can search character. I can put in Black Chrysanthemum, and it'll bring me any key element books. And when you say key, it doesn't mean that they're worth thousands of dollars. There's many keys that have key variables, like it's the first meeting of this person, but the book's only worth $3 or $4. It's a database. It's a good thing to use if you want to learn. You pull something like that up, You find out all of these issues that have something important in them. And then you go on eBay, you go in the marketplace, and you start bidding this book up. And now, because nobody cared about this book the few hours before, you only have a couple books probably on eBay. So what do people do? Oh my gosh, there's only 2? I need that book. I need that book. I need that book. And a book that was selling for $1, $2, $3, maybe $4. Now all you need is 2 people. All you need is 2 people. In a world of thousands of collectors, all you need is 2 people to be sitting there. They put their Disney Plus on pause. And now all they have their eyes on is this eBay auction of this bid of this book that the auctioneer, that the eBay seller put on an auction item for 99 cents, thinking it might sell for a few dollars. They're bidding it up to $40. We're not done. We're not done because guess what? Okay, well, two people. It just takes 2 people to do that. All right, well, those 2 people, they get their book, and then, well, anyone else that goes on eBay or the marketplace, they're going to be cool. They're not going to be, FOMO. Nope. Because now there's another variable that creates a false sense of scarcity and a false understanding of fair market value. And what is that? Most recent sale. Now you have a most recent sale of $40. So this is all, we're building blocks. We're building Legos here. Okay. Let's go back. Remember, $1 book, Disney Plus, Star Wars, Black Chrysanthemum. What are the key books? Black Chrysanthemum. Go on eBay. 1 book, 2 people, boom, $40 book. Now we have most recent sale. Read the comments. Most recent sale. Now what do people do? Maybe other people waited until the episode was over. Maybe there were some people that watched the whole episode before they decided to pull out their phone and go on eBay. So now what are those people doing? They may be looking at databases, finding what are the key books for Black Chrysanthemum, and now they're going on eBay and they're going on eBay sold. Or maybe it's the next day and Cover Price has taken in the data of the most recent $40 sale. So now collectors are like, oh my God, Black Chrysanthemum. The next day comes, every YouTuber's talking about it. Black Chrysanthemum, get his key books before it's too late. Now they go and look at this most recent sale and they say $40. Oh shit. So now some people are getting hit to it. Sellers, that is. Maybe there's a couple more on the market. But now everyone is leaning to that most recent sale. And if that most recent sale was $40, that means I need to pay $50. Origin of his scar.
I like it. I love it. I love how you turned it around. That's fantastic. Everybody, Chris is back. We'll bring this up again. Dan De La Torre, Chris is back. We are happy. Yes. That's a good point, Chris. That's fair. And that's how it all starts. The thought here, I don't own this book. I'm not going to go searching for this book. If I find it in a bin for $1, I'm going to buy the book.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But the thought could be, Chris, that because Obi-Wan is tied into Black Chrysanthemum, there may be an opportunity that we'll see him in the Obi-Wan show as well.
But again, look at the big scheme of things. It doesn't hold weight. Characters meet up with other characters all the time. And as much as, again, I'm playing both sides here. I am an advocate, and I say this all the time, Jeff. I say in the age of instantaneous information, we as collectors care, we care about team ups more than we've ever did, like first team ups. We care about origins of the character. We care about second and third appearances. It's like these are key variables, and we like to collect this. This is a stretch, even though I get it. Like he got his scar from Obi-Wan. And we could see that play out. But it's in the scheme of things, it still, to me, doesn't add up. And it speaks to how I broke it down. It speaks to a bigger issue. And it goes back to what I talk about and what I'm going to be talking about all year long. Being educated buyers. Look, this book right now that's selling for $40+, that's organic and it's a fair market value. Right now, that book is worth $40. It is. That's nobody's manipulating the market, right? Nobody's twisting your hand and lying to you about anything. But here's the thing. It only takes a few sales for collectors to misunderstand the market. And again, this is a saying that I'm going to be saying all year long. It's not market manipulation, it's market misinformation. And whether it's misinformation that's coming from somebody else or whether it's collectors being uneducated and being reactionary in their purchasing decisions. And they are ultimately misinformed on how the data works. They're misinformed on how to read the data. And that's why, Chef, I've been talking with you about there's certain YouTubers out there that use they're saying that these books are doing this or doing that because they're looking at outliers. You can't look at outliers to base the fair market value on a book. And you can't just look at the most recent sale. If you look at the most recent sale of this book at $40 and you don't look at anything else, you're going to be blind to the fact that the most recent dozen sales before that were like $2, $3, $4. You need to take all of that into context saying, okay, is it really worth for me to put $40 out for this book? And if more and more collectors are thinking like that, what's it going to do? It's going to level out the market because the more collectors, the more there are educated collectors, the more there are collectors that are patient and that are educated to the market and to the data, the more we will see these types of situations. And we can still have fun with FOMO to an extent, and we could still watch our Disney Plus shows and pause it when we see the new character, figure out and go on eBay. We can still do all of those things and have fun with it, but we can still be educated enough to where we are a more well-greased machine, to where we know that in the intrinsic value of that book. Because here's the thing. Let me give one more example before I end my rant here, Jeff, and I'll let you get final word. If something like this happens with a book that was $1 book before, and you go on eBay and there's only 1 or 2 books, and they're booming. This is just a hypothetical in one scenario. This is what I would do. First off, I would check all of my options. I want to just go to eBay. I would go to Mercari. Because again, there might not be those 2 people that get the FOMO. They might not have looked at Mercari yet. You might still be able to find the book for a few bucks. Go to my comic shop. My comic shop is hit on the market and they change their prices constantly. But you don't know. Check it. And if you have an LCS store, have patience. If it's late at night and you're watching the Disney Plus show, look at your schedule. Do you work tomorrow? What time are you off? Have patience. Go to your LCS store the next day and see what they have in their back issue bins. Because you could probably find that book still for $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. If you don't, go back onto eBay the next day, because then you might have a lot more sellers putting that book up. And just be smart about then, at least then, if you want to spend $40 for the book, at least you explored your options. Because the more people that do that go to their LCSs, maybe find it for cheaper, there's less people on the eBay or in the Whatnot app buying it up, putting those auction prices up. And then what happens? Then it's another trickle effect. It's a trickle effect. What's the most recent sale then? Well, maybe a book that was the 1 or 2 to 3, maybe the most recent sale book now was $10. Because maybe instead of those 2 people that were like FOMO, maybe they went and sat with it, explored their options, and were able to find better deals that they didn't have to FOMO that book's auction value up. Maybe it stopped at 10. So now the next day comes and you get people that are saying, okay, $10. I see there's some demand for this book. People are actually wanting this book. Maybe you'd pay $11 or $12 or $13. And if it gets to $40, at least it's doing it in a way that is allowing supply and demand to catch up to each other and find a more accurate market equilibrium of where that book should sit on the market.
Well
That's all I
said.
got for you.
Well said. I'm going to add one thing real quick. The first meeting of characters is a thing. People are seeking that out. Vigilante number, I think it's 36, first meeting of Peacemaker and Vigilante. I found that for 50 cents. That's now going for $30. That's a thing because of Peacemaker, right? People may, I'm not sure. Yeah, it has to be the first meeting of Obi-Wan and Black Chrysanthemum, but like people seek those out now. That's because
I don't know. Do you know? Sorry to interrupt, but just a question. Is that their first meeting?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I know people that will know. By the way, I want to get somebody who's very well known. He knows a lot about Star Wars. I want to get him for the last week of Book of Boba Fett. But on the show. But anyways, these are all good points, and I like. It's not. What'd you say about misinformation? It's not manipulation. It's misinformation.
Right.
So, 100%.